the camera is very similar to the light layer. To add it, it's the exact same command. You just go layer new, but instead of light, you choose camera. And the camera itself is going to have a dialog box where you have all these different elements you can control. You can change the zoom, the film size, the focal length, the focal distance, the angle of view, all different kinds of options. Some of them are going to be similar to real life, and some of them are going to be totally different. Aperture, for example, doesn't work the way you'd expect it to in this program, which we'll look at later on. But just know that you've got some basic camera options, any of which are editable after you add it just by double-clicking on the object. Same thing for the lights. So if you ever want that dialog box to come back up and edit it, it's just a matter of double-clicking on it within the layer palette. So now I have a camera element, and I'm going to zoom out here. I'm still looking at a top view. Now remember, when we were looking at two different views, we had an active camera view and a top view. This is going to be the first time that active camera actually means something, because if I was to move my camera, if I grab it by the z-axis, for example, and pull it towards my stage, you could see it's like it's zooming in on the objects there. And I could actually take it right past some objects and go to the ones behind it. So you've got this camera that you can animate near and far. You can make it pan, you can make it turn. You can see its general anatomy from above here. Let me pull that back. And I'm going to twirl down its options. So it's got the basic transform properties, but it also has camera options in which you can change the zoom. Okay. You can change the depth of field, you can change the focus distance, the aperture, and the blur level. It essentially works very much like the light in that you could either move the base of it using the handles, or you can grab that little point of interest and move that to where you want it to go as well, which is probably a pretty easy way of animating it. One other thing that you might want to consider is not only looking at it from the top view, but one of the sides. If you look at the camera from the right or left view, you can actually see how the focus changes. So when I change the focus distance, you not only see what it does to change within the stage and how it's blurry now, but it also shows you with this little line what it's focusing on. So there's other views that are useful besides just top or active camera. Right, for example, would be a really good one to look at here. So I can animate something like focus distance where everything is sharp and clear here, but if I move out and then change the focus distance, you can see how it extends past the objects, and therefore when I animate it, it will become blurry as it goes past it. So you can do really cool like fake depth of field in After Effects just by changing the focus and what you're looking at. And of course you can animate it just like anything else. It has a position property, so if I want to, I can animate the position and have it move around the screen as well. So I could have it move up, down, left, right. I could rotate it and just zip it around the screen. If I look within that other camera view, you should already be familiar with the fact that anytime you add motion to something, you have this animatable little path. It represents the direction it goes and the speed. That's those little tick marks. But you can actually click and drag on that path to give it curves and smoothness, and that will greatly impact the way that it animates. So if I wanted to like zip up past the Coliseum and have the logo be up there or something, I can. Okay. So 3D is really just another way of adding something into After Effects to let you move around. And there's a few other techniques I can show you, but I'd like you to practice with the camera itself for now.